Okay, so I was at work at a big retail store, and there was this guy. I was a cashier, and he would come through the line. And one day, I guess he decided that he liked me because he'd always pick fights with his wife, like on purpose, and it would bother me. Um, I saw him do it in other not car ops, sorry, switched to current job, other cashiers' lines, but he never come to my line. And I guess, most of them just kind of like would have kept their head down. But after this incident, he kept coming through to my line because he came through. He picked the fight with her. She was trying to be polite, and then he said something incredibly rude to her. And she looked like she was about to cry, so I simply looked up and said, "Sir, that was completely uncalled for. Um, it's none of my business, but I don't think you should talk to your wife that way." He could have reported me, for butting into his business, but he was in my line, and I guess all he did was he looked up and he smiled and kind of laughed at me, and then walked away with her. And then every time he came into that store and I was working, he came through my line and did shit like that, and we would have a similar interaction every time. Eventually, I moved departments, and I was no longer a cashier. And one day, he happened to be walking past my department and saw me straightening and stocking my shelves. And so he picks this huge fight with her and ends up, like, I guess, slapping her, I guess, and she kind of fell. And I immediately went, "Hey!" And he was like, because, it was an immediate knee-jerk reaction as someone who's had something like that happen and no one stick up for them. I'm like, "No." And so I immediately go, "Hey!" And this guy's like, "What you gonna do about it?" And so, like, I go over there and ask her if she's okay, and I start to, I kind of try to stand between them and help her. And then he starts, trying to get in my face, ask me what I'm going to do. Before I can say or do anything, though, one of my male coworkers happened to be in the store with his buddy, and they both saw it happening. And they're these big. My friend was a big guy, and his friend was not quite as big, but like muscular. And they both come over, and they're just kind of like, "Hey, leave her alone, why don't you?" And so he's gonna be like, "Sorry," and then him and his wife walk off, and I never saw that guy again. But yeah, that was dumb. Why are people like this?